Today's video, we're going to explain how you can invest for the brand new Elite Evo. So just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch for the cheapest trading guides out there for just £4, €4, all free with Amazon Prime. You'll receive daily trading and investing guides covering PlayStation, Xbox and PC with an array of methods covering all budgets. And I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million in multiple different FIFAs, and now for the last 4 years I've made 10 million coins in just the first month. So in today's video, what we're going to be explaining is how can you invest for the brand new Elite Evo, because of course there's been some insane money to be made when there's been Elite Evos, and when Evos come out, but there's been one leaked. So where does this leak derive from? So the source of the leak comes from the likes of one of the leakers' Discords, one of the ones that's popped up as of recently, Foot Police. Again, basically gets everything right with near no failure next to zero failure. And the players that he's recommended are Joseph Martinez, which I'm going to come back to in a sec, Kahera and Soyuncu. Now we can see that at least two of these out of the three are non-rare centre-backs of very similar stats. You know, not overly high pace, 76 defending, not overly high physical and not overly high rated. He then also adds to this, don't know exactly when we're going to sell, I expect it being tomorrow. So the relevance of him saying tomorrow is that tomorrow would have been Wednesday. Now Evos come out on either Wednesdays and Thursdays, which explains why there's two players who are very similar who, again, they're expected to go and sell on a Wednesday and Thursday, but it may take more days, blah blah, basically tells people to stack up on them. Now, what I'm going to, I guess, bring up before we talk about investments is Martinez. Martinez is the odd one out here, but if we go and load and have a little look at, if I have him right now, if we go and look at this Martinez, he follows the exact criteria of the other two. So in my opinion, what's happened is the leaker for some reason doesn't know what is good to invest in. He's given the investments to a trader. The trader's come back and told him to buy Martinez, or put Martinez in there, but he's picked the wrong Martinez, because you may say, why this Martinez? Well, this Martinez has 76 defending. What do the other two Martinezes have? Other two players have 76 defending. He's also a low rated non-rare, no higher than the other two. He's got lower pace than the other two. He's got only one more physical than the other two, which as a result leads me to believe that when he was saying Martinez, he means this one. And I'll show you in a second another reason why. Now that we have all three players, now what we're going to do is we're going to reverse engineer the criteria. So now what we've done is we've basically loaded up all three players. I've got them here just so it's easy viewing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to work out a filter of using basically the highest stat out of these three for every position. For example, I'm going to go instead of a filter where they have maximum 71 pace, maximum 56 shooting, although I'd be surprised if that is irrelevant, maximum 69 passing, maximum is going to be 70 dribbling, maximum 76 defending, and maximum 79 physical, because that is combined the highest stats per stats basically. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a filter of everyone who fits under basically these guys' criteria. So now we've put in the 6 stats of defending, pace, passing, physicality, shooting and dribbling. You can now see kind of how the leaker has found these players. Soyuncu is the highest rated out of these. Quattro is one of the highest rated, and then if we go and sort via pace, we can then go and see that Kahera is the fastest pace. So you can see how he's selected these 3 cards, which means hopefully we've now successfully reverse engineered this guy's investments into now finding what players fit under it. Now there is a chance that there is potentially higher physicality and potentially higher passing and potentially higher pace. So you can go and research that, and that's something I have actually done. But I'd say, you know, there's a chance you're wasting your time because, you know, these players are almost guaranteed, presuming the leaker has the right requirements. But if you want to go and research up to 80 pace, you're more than welcome to. But we know that all these players basically fit under the criteria. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the best players to buy, because basically all of these are discards. So it doesn't really matter what you're going to go and buy, because it's not very risky, because worst comes to worst, you're going to use them in marquee matchups, and again, it's all discard. So the first thing that I'd say is a very interesting observation is there's actually only 3 centre-backs who fit under this criteria, and that is Bolly, Kahera and Lacazette. We know that Kahera is already very inflated, which means you can go and gamble on him, but he's much higher risk, higher reward. And I'm not an idiot. Obviously I can see right here that Bolly has abysmal pace in comparison to Kahera, but he is the only other gold card other than Lacazette who's inflated. Again, you can buy Lacazette, but because this Evo could come on the Thursday, it means that they could go and drop with the likes of division rivals and marquee matchups, And obviously at the moment he's going for 1.1, so it means the card's high risk. So Body's the first sort of risk-free card you can go for that fits under the current criteria. Interesting enough, if they go and give you more leeway on, let's say, physicality, we can see that we get someone like Adja has been added. And also if they go and give you more, let's say, versatility on the likes of, I think, passing might be another one, and shooting, then we can see that now we've got the likes of Czech Kyoto, we can see that we've got the likes of Eric Dyer, but of course that comes down to what sort of flexibility, because under the current maximum per player per stat, you've only got Bolly, Lacazette and Cajera, because of course Bai is not in the prep. The second thing to look at then is, do you know what, if you can't use the golds, presuming there's no minimum requirement, the silvers could be quite good. We got the likes of Richards, we got the likes of Kelly, we got the likes of Braithwaite, we got the likes of Deloxy, and Cohen. We got ourselves the likes of Keywall there. We got Saar. Now the one thing you got to appreciate with these cards is again the kind of higher risk, higher reward, because if these are the stats, someone like Chris Richards will probably go extinct. But if they have more leeway and there's more golds, Richards won't do very well. On top of that, you've got to appreciate if they're not needed and we wait till Thursday, then they're going to go down with marquee matchup supply, or they're going to go down with the election pack we even get on Wednesday. So silvers are high risk, high reward, but these cards can do very, very well, so do not neglect silvers. Even someone like Luka Mbete could do quite well, because we even have Man City and marquee matchup, so he should hold a minimum price, and he's one of the fastest players that fits under it. Are people going to go for bronzes if they could do Cajera? I don't know, he's got that City link, which is quite nice. So first off, looking at the Premier League, the best stuff to really go with is, again, you can gamble Cajera. If not, you're looking at buying Bolly, and you know, if you wanted to take away a few of the others, you've got players like Senese, Ajaya, Nathan Collins, but that's way more of a gamble because these players are basically guaranteed to be fitting under the criteria, whereas others aren't. So bronzes, silvers, and then a few of those golds. So after Premier League, the next most popular avenue to go down is always France. So in terms of high rated, they're not amazing. You got yourself Jazico, who's in the the women's league, and again, buying her a discard, it really isn't that risky. But I would always just sort via pace and then look at a few of the other cards. We've got silvers like Sildilia. We've got ourselves silvers in the League 1 like Colin. So these sort of cards would be arguably more favourable than her. Again, they're more risky because they can draw with marquee matchups, but again, these are the best French players, and people do love going with France. Gavalion also would do pretty decent. You can literally pick him up right now for discard. Worst comes to worst, he stays at discard, maybe use him in your marquee matchups. Best case scenario, he goes up nicely because he is one of the best French players who fits under the criteria. You can see right here that the reason these are great is because they're very, very low risk. Obviously, there's way more risk with something like Sildilia. He was only 700 coins yesterday, but these are up a little bit because, of course, people like myself have caught on to them and recommended people investing in them. But there's still plenty of leeway with players you can go for. So that's France right there. Again, the golds aren't amazing. You've got Jazico. Again, you can buy a discard, but if not, look at some of the fastest silvers. So the third thing you'd then be looking for now would just be the top 5 leagues. So what we'll do is we'll start here in the Liga, and the likes of Soyuncu again at 600 is one thing. This card's quite interesting here, Lucas Hernandez. He's the only gold card which has a playstyle plus. That is only long throw, which isn't anything too insane, but I could see it maybe getting a bit of traction. We move into the Serie A, and once again you can see this is why Quattra's up there, because there is only 2 Serie A players. You could go and pick up Lorente. Not going to be as amazing as if you were to go and sort via pace. I believe there'll be some Italian guys. Yep, the likes of Vitti, once again, sitting near discard, because, I mean, he is used for current UCL marquee matchups. So you've got a few of these guys. Again, the Serie A, Italy would be better. The best sort of combinations are players from the nation of the league, so Italy, Serie A, or alternatively, players from the top 5 clubs, because the top 5 clubs have a way higher chance of people having players in their teams. So stuff like AC Milan right here, and stuff like Juventus would have a much, much higher chance being demanded than someone, let's say. Again, he is the fastest of the league, which we go for him, but Albanian from Empoli is a very, very undesired combo. The only thing really going for him is that he's in the Serie A. Then moving into the Ligue 1, obviously the Ligue 1's relatively demanded, but only 2 golds to fit under here. Bellaradi, again, you can pick up at discard, which is pretty nice. And then what we can do is we can sort via pace. And again, we're really looking for, we've got Colin popping up once again, Brazo popping up once again, but the only other players I'd look for would be players from top clubs. Maybe Olympique Lyon, especially with some of the dynamic duos, and Le Sommer could maybe be good. And again, you're just buying him at discard. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It doesn't overly, shouldn't matter too much really. And then finally we move into the Bundesliga. A few players you can go for right here. Anton's looking pretty decent. Obviously he's from Germany in the Bundesliga. It's a good combo. Only 4 players who fit under the current filter. You do have the likes of Wobber as well, but again, I would see there being more demand for a Bundesliga, Bundesliga German player than there would be a Austrian. Once again, if we go and sort via pace, you've got Saldilia, which would look good. Fernandez, sadly, is just too inflated at the moment. If not, you've got Silvers like Jens could work. This guy wouldn't be bad because at the moment there is a lot of demand for people using the likes of Leverkusen, so there might be a bit of hype around him. But other than that, Reece Oxford maybe, because you've got that English Bundesliga. Papadopoulos, again, Dortmund, that can work in your favour. Although do be aware that he is a KO already, so I probably would hold off that. So the idea is, you may say, well, half these players would not be demanded, but it doesn't really matter if they're literally sitting at discard. If stuff's in a discard, you know, what's the worst you have to worry about? And that is about all she wrote, really. As I say, the Premier League would be good, top 5 leagues are good, England's good, France is good to go for. Ideally players from the same nation as their league. And when would you go and sell them? Now, any of the silvers are inflated. If you are holding on to them past 6 PM on marking matchups, just understand there is risk of them going down if they're not needed or if the requirements are vaguer. If not, you just sell them probably about 5-10 minutes after the Evo comes out. I'd say that is about that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.